Can you hear me okay? Yes, I don't have a mic, just computer audio.
We can start, Raviji. We are live. Raviji, we can start.
Can you hear me? Okay. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Dhyanam Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Muninam Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamruta Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshini. Namostu te vyasa vishala buddhe Pullaravindaaya tapatra netra Yena tvaya bharata taila punnaha Prajvalito jnanamaya pradipaha Prapanna parijataya Totra vitraika panaye Jnanamudraya krishnaya Gita mrutaduhe namaha Sarvopanishado gavo Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamrutam Mahat Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramaddanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Bhishmadrona Tata Jaya Dathajala Gandhara Nilotpala Shalyagrahavati Krupena Vahani Karnena Velakula Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vattini Sotirna Khalu Pandavai Rananadi Kaivartaka Keshavaha Parasharyavacha Saroja Mamalam Gitardha Gandhotkatam Nanakyanaka Kesaram Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Shatpadai Raharaha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradvamsina Shreyase Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkrupa Tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divya Istavai Vedai Sanga Padakramo Panishadai Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam na vidu sura suragana Devaya tasmai namaha Shantakaram bhujagashayanam padmanabham suresham Vishwadharam gagana sadrusham meghavarnam shubhangam Lakshmikantam kamalanayanam yogi hrudhyana gamyam Vande Vishnum bhavabhayaharam sarvalokaikanaatham.
Yeah, namaste. So today, Dr. G will cover, it's actually chapter 5. Chapter 5, which is Vairagya Yoga. And there are a lot of beautiful verses here. And I'm sure Dr. G will have some amazing things to tell about this chapter. So to the next slide, Dr. G. Yeah, so we'll do this contemplation poem. Like the sun rising up in the eastern sky and displacing darkness, knowledge of the ultimate truth rises up in the mind, slowly but surely, destroying ignorance. And just like the midday sun, wisdom acquired burns brightly and illuminates that supreme. Over to you, Dr. G.
Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Shri Matre Namaha. Gomatre Namaha. Gita Matre Namaha. Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Sabhayai Namaha. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, thank you. So today, let's revel in the fifth chapter. Before we get into the chapter, I just would like to say sorry for changing the schedule, and thank you for just living with my inconsistency. I really appreciate, and thank you so much. This is Navaratri time, and it's a Friday. So I hope I'll do justice for your time. Thank you so much. Chapter 5 is called Karma Vairagya Yoga, or Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Karma Sannyasa Yoga, more popularly. And as you know, these names are not very authentic. It can be variable according to the acharyas and then commentators. And each chapter have sometimes more than one name as well. Karma Sannyasa Yoga. So we talked about Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga, Samyak Khyatam in the second chapter. And the subsequent chapters are the further explanations of what is summarized succinctly as an abstract, not abstract meaning, like abstract in a journal article. Okay? We see the abstract and then the details of the abstract. So this is called Vyasa Samasa Paddhati. Vyasa is the first one to introduce this. You see any journal, first there is an abstract and then the details of the research and then the methods and the results and the conclusion. And before conclusion, there is a discussion as well. So this Samasa means abstract. Vyasa means detailing. So the details were in third chapter for karma and karma yoga, how action can be a yoga. Then jnana karma sannyasa yoga, how that karma can be a yoga with the knowledge of wisdom, or with knowledge or situated in the knowledge and putting it in practice as wisdom. So this is karma sannyasa because Arjuna is not satisfied. Arjuna is not satisfied. Fourth chapter began without Arjuna's question. Saluting all gurus. And Arjuna asks very sincerely, Arjuna uvacha sannyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogam cha shamsasi yachreya etayorekam tanme bruhi sunischitam. Oh Krishna, first of all, you ask me to renounce work. And then again, you recommend work with devotion. Now, will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial? And guess what? This samshaya this question will remain till 18th chapter. Sannyasasya mahabaho tattvamichhami veditum yagasya cha rishikesha pruthakesha nishodana. So most teachers would just go like this, because after listening to Ramayana, it's like asking, what's the relationship between Rama and Sita, by the way? So it actually is beautifully said in Telugu. So now, so much has been said about sannyasa, karma yoga, and what is better? Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim asthita janakadaya. Kuru karmaiva tasmatvam purvai purvataram krutam. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. So many times Krishna has said, but now Arjuna, I think as a child in Gurukula, he was taught this Kathopanishad so well, this particular shloka, Shreyascha preyascha manushya metatva, tau samparitya vivinakti dhiraha. So preya mandaha. So mandas will go towards prayers, but shreyo hi. So shreya is the one which dhira takes up. So he is now wanting shreyas. If you have seen in the second chapter, Karpanya doshopahata svabhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha yachreyasya nishchitam bruhitanme shishyasteham sadhimam tvam prapannam. Tell me that shreyas. Then again in the third chapter, what did he say? Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tatkim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi kesava. Then after that, vyamishreneva vakyena buddhim mohayasiva me tadekam vada nischitya yena shreyoham apnuyam. I want that Shreyas. So Shreyas is such a beautiful name. Then, because Arjuna is such a great disciple, and you can only learn these nuances, the intricacies, the details, and the secrets. Rahasyam etaduttamam. So that from Gurus only. How? From the fourth chapter, which we talked about, that we reserved this verse from fourth chapter for now. 34th verse. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Jnaninaha, the knowers. Tattvadarshinaha, the seers of the truth. Seers of tattva. Te upadekshyanti, they teach, instruct, staying closer to us, making sure that we understand it well, They means these great people. What? Jnanam, the knowledge. And how we should receive? Tat vidhi. Arjuna is asked by Krishna, oh Arjuna, know that from the seers, from the knowers. How? By doing three things. And those three things are pranipatena, pariprashnena, sevaya. Pranipata is bowing down to them, showing your reverence. Pariprashna means by asking genuinely, sincerely, when you do not understand. You know, this prashna, there's so many ways that sometimes I also am no exception. So suppose the teacher or the speaker does not cover something which you know, and you put it in a form of a question. So sometimes the questioner knows more than the speaker. That is one. Secondly, even to test. Does this guy know what he's speaking? So to test. Or to question. Or with a doubt. So, but pariprashna means a sincere question. Prashna
Dr. Raju, you got muted.
Okay, I don't know automatically. So please, yeah. So Pariprashna, have I covered until then? Pariprashna. So Pariprashna is asking genuinely, sincerely. Then Seva. Seva is, one is doing service, Shushrusha, but real Seva is following what gurus have said. So following their footsteps is Seva. Following their footsteps is Seva. Putting the teachings into practice is Seva. So Pranipata, Pariprashna, and Seva. With these three things, and the teachers are so impressed, they'll just give more than what you ask for. And Shistagaru used to say, the teacher and student relationship is so much that which is not taught specifically is also understood and transmitted to the student. And that's what has happened between Tapovan Maharaj and Chinmaya Swamiji. Can you believe that Swami Chinmayananda did all these Gita yajnas? And Tapovan Maharaj did not teach Gita to Chinmayananda. So that is what is transmitted. Same thing with Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Vivekananda. So that is how it happens. So there is one other meaning here in Shirdi Sai Baba Jivita Charitra, if you see. And there is a great dialogue which goes on between Sai Baba and Nana, I think Nana. So Nana is a Sanskrit Pandit, and then he's actually chanting this verse, murmuring. Then Baba asks, what are you chanting? And, oh, this is a Sanskrit verse, Baba, thinking that he wouldn't know the meaning of Sanskrit words. Now tell me. So then, tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena. So vidhi, no. Know what? Know what is to be known. Know what is to be known. Ramana Maharshi was asked once, do you think all these sages know everything? And Ramana Maharshi said, they know what is worth knowing. So then that is vidhi. Then pranipata we talked about, just not mere just salute, but just bow down with reverence. I think in one of these movies, Amitabh Bachchan's movie, Sarkar, I think. So in that, Abhishek Bachchan just touches the feet of Amitabh's guru very reluctantly. But then second time when he touches, he really actually, with reverence, wholeheartedly he does. And then, so anyway, so that is pranipata. Then pariprashna, we talked about asking sincerely, genuinely, not to doubt, or not to question, or not to see whether teacher knows or not to show off. Okay. So there is a subhashita, which goes like this. Yah pathati, likhati, pasyati, paripruchati, panditan upashrayati, tasya dinakara kiranaihi, nalini dalamiva, vikasyate buddhihi. So yeah, whoever he may be, he who, whoever she may be, she who, pathati, reads sincerely. Likhati, so just putting that in writing. Pashyati, just browsing through, repeating, like going through it again. Paripruchati, so pariprashna, so asking genuinely whenever you have a doubt. Panditan upashrayati, panda means knowledge. Pandita means the one who knows that which is to be known. Upashrayati, approaches. Tasya, so his or hers. Buddhi, the intellect. Vikasyate, so it actually unfolds, blooms. How? Dinakara kiranai nalini dalamiva. When the sun rays fall on the lotus flower, how the lotus flower blooms. So that is how it happens. Then the answer is, so Bhagavanu vacha, Shri Bhagavanu vacha, Sannyasa karma yogascha, Nishreyasa kara ubhau, Tayostu karma sannyasat, karma yogo visishyate. No doubts. No doubts left in this verse. Hey Arjuna, sannyasa and karma yoga. Undoubtedly, both are ubhau, both nishreyasa karau. Shankaracharya, in his introduction to Bhagavad Gita, Swami Ranganathananda was very fond of this introduction. So there are two things, pravritti and nivritti. Pravritti is engaging in the action. Nivritti is that withdrawing our senses and controlling our mind. So these two. And these two are very necessary. So abhyudaya, nishreyasa. So abhyudaya, nishreyasa. Abhyudaya is progress, the materialistic progress, that excellence in your work. And that is abhyudaya. Nishreyasa is the internal journey. So one is unfolding, the other is enfolding. And both are great, O Arjuna. But between them, if you ask me, tayostu karma sannyasat karma yogo visishyate. So karma yoga is any time better than giving up the actions. But both are same. Yes sankhye prapyate sthanam tadyogairapi gamyate ekam sankham cha yogam cha yap pashyati sapashyati. So these two are one and the same. And whatever has to be attained, the goal is the same for both. And one who sees these two yogas as equal is a real seer. Sankhya yoga pruthak bala pravadanti na panditaha ekam apyasthitas samyak ubhayor vindate phalam. Balaha, the children or childish people, talk about these two as different yogas. But if you are well established in one, you will get the fruits of both. And for you, I told you, karma yogo visishyate. You means Arjuna is us, Partha is us. So for us, karma yoga visishyate. That is because Sannyasastu mahabhaho dukkhamaptuma yogataha yoga yukto munir brahma nachirena adhigacchati. This sannyasa marga is very difficult, Arjuna, very difficult. Because we have such a baggage. All of us have such a baggage. Some less and then some more. Some less and then some more. Sannyasa marga is of 2-3 different kinds, like Vidvas sannyasa, Vividisha sannyasa. So like a krama sannyasa, or one happening suddenly as it happened to Ramana Maharshi, or striving for it. And you see these in missions, brahmachari spending years, 6, 10, 12, before they become actual swamis. So it is very difficult. Oh, Arjuna, if you have seen the movie Subhodayam by Vishwanath, Chandramohan, and then it is also remade in Hindi by with Amol Palekar by Vishwanath, I think. So there, this guy Chandramohan sees Swamiji coming, for a yajna, and then of course, all the hosts, they treat them so well with great breakfast, great lunch, great dinner, and then, so great bed, and then relaxing sofa and all that. So Chandramohan thinks that, oh boy, this life seems to be great. And he joins the ashram. And then guess what? 4 o'clock, so the bell rings, then everybody wakes up, and then the work is done, the ashram work is done, cleaning up and all. And then, of course, the lunch is served. Then lunch is a banana and then a bland food and then some milk and buttermilk. Then he asks, is it because today is Ekadashi, they're serving like this? I think tomorrow there must be a sumptuous food. No, this is what we do. Then is there a rest or like siesta? No siesta. We do garden work after lunch. So, sannyasastu mahabhaho dukkhamaptuma yogata. Ranganathananda used to say, whenever he used to visit places, and then there used to be, their kids, some of them doing nothing and good for nothing, quote unquote. So then a grandmother used to come and then, ये बच्चा को लेके जाओ, ये कुछ काम नहीं आता घर में, ये बच्चे को आप लेके जाओ. So Swamiji used to say, I don't want people like that. I want the energetic, agile, those who are ready to work. So that is what the sannyasin is. We will see what Vivekananda says later about this. So this yoga yuktaha, vishuddhatma, vijitatma, jitendriyaha, sarvabhutatma bhutatma, kurvannapi na lipyate. So once you achieve this state, yoga yuktaha, the one who is endowed with this yoga, buddhi yoga, sannyasa yoga. I must warn here, Gita talks about two kinds of people, siddha and sadhaka, the perfected one and the practitioner one. So it shows us the glimpse of the perfected one, and then it gives us a clue and a way and shows us the way how to practice and get there. So this is that yoga yukta, that visuddhatma, whose mind is so pure. Vijitatma, the mind is conquered. Jitendriyaha, the indriyas are conquered by their own intellect. Sarva bhutatma bhutatma, the one who has become one with all beings. So such a being, there is nothing to do. There is nothing in this world to do. So whenever they do any action, and they are like Vasantaval Loka Hitam Charanti, they are like spring, they come and go, and whatever they do, they're not tainted by it, because whatever they do it for the good of the world. And how they think, Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavitta. This tattvavitta is the knower of tattva, is tattvavitta. Knower of tattva, knower of truth, tattva. So tat is that. Tattva means the essence of that, the subject of that. So the fund of that with the knower, with. So the knower of that, the nature of that, tattva is the nature of that. And always, Pashyan, Shunvan, Sprishan, Jigran, Ashnan, Gachan, Swapan, Swasan, Pralapan, Visrujan, Granhan, Unmishan, Nimishan, Napi, Indriyani, Indriyathesu, Vartanta iti dharayan, Naiva kinchit karomiti, Yukto manyeta tattvavitta. Because he's Vishuddhatma, he's Vijitatma, Sarvabhuta Bhutatma. Such a one, Yoga Yuktaha, he thinks Naham Karta, Daivam Karta, and Naham Deham. Then if I am not Deha, who am I? Koham, as Ramana Maharshi has said, Aham na Deham, Naham Deham. Then Koham, Kaha Aham, who am I? Soham, Saha Aham, I am that. So Naiva Kinchit Karomiti, that ego concept is changed to the eco concept. So while seeing Pashyan, while listening Shrinvan, while touching Sprishan, while smelling Jigran, while eating Ashnan, while going Gachan, while sleeping Ram, resting Swapan, while breathing Swasan, while speaking Pralapan, while giving up Visrujan, while receiving Grunhan, and while closing the eyelid, Unmishan. Nimisha is closing, Unmishan is opening. Unmesha Nimishotpanna Vipanna Bhuvanavali. In Lalita Sahasranama we see that. Unmesha Nimishotpanna Vipanna Bhuvanavali. Because Devi, always the eyes are open. You don't see the eyes closed. Because once Lalita Devi closes the eyes, then happens Pralaya. That's when she was third eye opens up. So Unmesha Nimishotpanna Vipanna Bhuvanavali. So unmishan nimishan napi indriyani indriyatheshu vattanta iti dharayan. So they're so constantly watching their senses acting up in the sense organs, and then also withdrawing like the tortoise when it is needed. So that is how yada samharate chayam kurmongani va sarvasha indriyani indriyatheshu. So that's how it is. And so this comes with abhyasa, vairagya, practice, dispassion, and then passion for higher goal. And it is not to be practiced once a week or once a day. So again, Swami Chinmayananda used to say, the weekend practice, weekend is W-E-E-K-E-N-D, weekend practice is a weekend practice, W-E-A-K-E-N-A-D, weekend practice. So always, satatam, nityam. And verse number 10, what a beautiful verse. Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyatena sapapena padmapatramivambhasa. Yaha means whoever he may be, he who, whoever she may be, she who. Brahmani adhaya sarva karmani. So brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva. So mukta sangas samachara, we talked about that. Mukta sangas samachara. Karmani brahmani adhaya. Then tyaktva sangam yaha karoti. So one who performs his duty without attachment. How? Surrendering the results unto the Supreme. He's not, or she's not affected by any act. How? An example is given. As the lotus leaf is untouched by the waters. Brahmani adhaya. Shall we take up this one first? So placing it in the hands of Brahman, supreme power, supreme consciousness. There are two nyayas. One is called Marjala Kishora Nyaya. The other one is Markata Kishora Nyaya. Marjala means cat. Marjala. So sometimes, in medical terms, somebody asks us, when we were students, so they used to ask us a question. So then what is angina? So it is not myocardial infarction yet. So angina means chest pain. You can say like that. So he used to actually scold us. You're saying what, when I ask what marjala is, you are saying bidala. Can you not just say, Billy or cat? So marjala. Marjala means cat. So the cat and the kitten and the monkey and the baby monkey. So here, if you see the kitten does not do anything, just total surrender. Karpanya doshopahata svabhavaha ruchamitvam dharma samudha cheta. Just like Draupadi. Shankha chakra gada pane dwaraka nilayachita govinda pundarikaksha rakshamam tvam saranagatam. That's it. She was just like kitten and she was taken care. Gajendra. Yasminnidam yataschedam yenedam yayidam swayam yo asmat parasmatcha tam prapadye swayam bhuvam yo asmat parasmatcha paraha. So I salute that paratpara. That's it. He's taken care. On the other hand, Prahlada, Narada, Parashara, Pundarika, all these, they never leave him. They never leave him. Dhruva, holding on to him like baby monkey. Dhruva. Just one Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That Dwadashakshari mantra was taught by Narada Maharshi to that little boy. That's it. Like a baby monkey, he held on. So then he will take care. Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. So Eckhart, he says, think of him alone and never mind whether God is doing your work or not, or whether you are doing it yourself. If your thoughts are set on him, whether God wills or not, he must do your work. Like the other day we talked about Prahlada. He said, Hiranyakashipu had doubt. Prahlada has had no doubt. So Vishnumurti was under tension when he said, Indu galadandu led and Sandehamu valadu. ಚಕ್ರಿ ಸರ್ವೋಪಗತಂಡು ಎಂದೆಂದು ವೆದಿಗೆ ಜೋಚಿನ ಅಂದಂದೇ ಗಲಡು ದಾನವಾಗ್ರನಿ ವಿಂಟೆ. So Vishnu means Vishati, he is everywhere in you, in the form of you, in the form of me, and in the form of everybody, in the form of everything, Vigraha. But now he has to be in the form of Narasimha all over. So that is what, whether he wills or not, he must do your work. Live life like a lotus leaf. Padma Patramivambasa. This is Gita teaching in brief. Born in waters, dwelling in waters, perishing in waters, yet untouched by waters, is the beauty of lotus leaf. Born in this world, living in this world, dying in this world, must we live fully in society, yet untouched by its vanity. Padma Patramivambasa. Like a lotus leaf, live without any grief, and give beauty to the life. Grieve not, my friend, for the Lord is our friend. Detached from attachments, dissociated from associations, deviated from avocations, devoted ever to higher goals, live life like a lotus leaf. This is Gita teaching in brief. Lord Krishna's preaching for life. Then, sorry, I wanted to move on, but I was just stuck at Swami Tejavananda was doing this chapter, and there's some people like Lotus Leaf, he was saying, whatever you say, whatever you ask him, and whatever repeatedly you ask, it doesn't touch them. Padma Patramivambasa, and my wife was looking at me. So nothing touches. How many ever times you tell or teach, but that's not the point. The point is now we have to live in this world with, as Swami Bodhananda says, complete engagement with total detachment. So in other words, in 2 words, detached engagement, detached engagement. As Vyasa said in Astakshari mantra, Mukta Sanga Samachara, Karyam Samachara. So now, Sarvakarmani Manasa Sanyasyaste Sukhamvasi Navadvare Pure Dehi Naiva Kurvan Karayan. All these karmas are actions. Manasa eva, mentally. Sannyasya, placing at the feet of the Lord. And this Vasi is such a beautiful word. Vasi is, so the one who has control over himself, that is Vasi. Sanjaya actually has never fought any war, but he's called Samyak Jayati, the one who conquered so very well, conquered himself so very well. So such a person, Navadvare Pure, so this Dehi, this Vasi, Sukham Aste, Naiva Kurvan Nakarayan, because nothing is touched, nothing taints him, nothing touches him, nothing. No blemish. So that Dehi, that Vasi, he is so happily staying in this Pura of 9 gates, the city of 9 gates. The 9 gates are Navadvara. So the 7, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 ear canals, 2 nostrils, then 1 mouth, that is 7, and then excretory and reproductive organs. So total 9. In Kathopanishad, in fact, it is said Puram Ekadasam. So the city of 11 gates. 11 gates. So 1, the navel, where we get all the blood supply from the placenta, from the mother through the umbilical cord. And then again with these yogis, when they give up the body, they actually give up through the anterior fontanelle here. So that Brahma, so Granthi. So that's where it is. And Navadvare Pure Dehi Hamso Lelayate Bahihi. So Vasi Sarvasya Lokasya Sthavarasya Charasya. So this he has control over himself, whether he's walking, or talking, or speaking, or receiving, or giving. So as we said, all those activities. A Pandita has defined, again, Pandita definition we have seen in the 2nd chapter. Ashocyananvashocastam prajnavadamscha bhashase gatasuna gatasumscha nanusochanti panditaha. Panda means knowledge, pandit, pandita. So pandit has actually now become an Oxford dictionary word. So pandit is the one who knows, panda, the knowledge, the knowledge. So second definition we have seen in the 4th chapter, Jnana Agni Dagdha Sarva Karmanam Tamahu Panditam Buddhaha. Whose actions are burned by this fire of knowledge is called Pandita. And in Viduraniti, there are so many, tens of verses where Vidura describes with the Makuta called Savai Pandita Uchyate. He is the real Pandit. He is the real Pandit. He is the real Pandit. But here we have another definition, which summarizes all those. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Sunichaiva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha. These Panditas who see Sama. Sama means one is the equipoise, the equality, the equanimity. But Sama means another meaning is Brahman, Brahman, Brahman. So the supreme consciousness is also called Sama. So the one who sees that supreme consciousness in you, me, and everyone, the knowledgeable person, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane in a Brahman, Gavi in a cow, Hastini in Hasti. This is all 7th case, 7th case. We talked about it. Remember Rame, Sureshe, so Sitayam. So in Vidya Vinaya Sampanna, in Brahman, in Go, cow, in Hasti, the elephant, Suni, in dog, Cha, and Swapake, the dog eater, so the meat eaters, all these are enlivened by the same consciousness. That is how Pandits see. So Samadarshinaha, the one, when you know that, so you have that compassion, you have that respectful treatment. It is misinterpreted as, do you have to treat everybody equally? So we talked about the equanimity and then equipoise and then equity. So how one should be respected with their position, with their vocation, with their given body, mind, intellect complex. So that is the external worldly treatment. But seeing that supreme Brahman in every being is the philosophical concept. So in one ashram, the Guruji says this sloka to the disciple, and the disciple he just is going on the street, and so he sees a Pandit first, and then he respects, and then he just goes close and then touches the feet. And then the elephant comes, and then again he closes, and then because it's Brahman, you see, so Samadarshinaha. So then he goes and then he wants to touch the feet of the elephant, and then he's almost being crushed. So then the Mawat, so then takes him. And then he's so injured, and then he comes back. What happened? Well, Pandit, Guruji, you only said that, so the Brahman is there in everyone, elephant and Pandit. Well, no doubt Brahman is there. You know that Brahman is there in the elephant, but the elephant doesn't know that the Brahman is in you. So that is how, so we have to take this verse. And this again, Annamacharya Kriti, Tandanana, Bhale Tandanana, Brahmokate, Para Brahmamokate. One Atman there is, one Brahman there is. This is how think and behave the wise. Shame on us who think otherwise. There is no higher low in reality. Brahman alone is the sole entity. All beings are born with no disparity. Brahman alone is the whole eternity. Deep sleep of an emperor or brief nap of a pauper, it's the same peace and rest. The high lands of a Brahmin or the low plains of a beggar, it is the same piece of land, if you care indeed, my friend. Same are the pleasures, copulation and desires for humans and animals, or for even small lovebirds. Same is the experience of brightness of day and darkness of night for a pauper on the street or for a brave knight who is a light. Same is the hunger whether you serve a sumptuous platter or give a piece of bread with no butter to spread. Same is the breeze flowing over a valley of tulips, and same is the air going over the heaps of corpses. Same is the sun shining on an elephant. Same is the salvation sought by a sage or anyone else. There is only one Brahman. There is only one Atman. That is how Annamacharya wrote his Kriti, Tandanana, Bhale Tandanana. So these are the technical terms which are used in Bhagavad Gita: Yukta, Bhakta, Sthita Prajna, Yogi, Trigunateta, Daivi Sampat, Jnani. So all these are interchangeably used. As we go through many chapters, we will see how these are so related. And such a person, Prahrushet Priyam Prapya, no Dvichet Prapya Cha Priyam, Sthira Buddhira Sammudho, Brahmavit Brahmanistitaha. This Sthira Buddhi, whose buddhi is so steadfast, Sthita Prajna, as we talked about, Sthira Buddhi, Sthita Prajna. We saw this in the second chapter. Dukkeshu anudvigna manaha, sukheshu vigata spruhaha, vita raga bhaya krodaha, sthitadhir muniruchyate. That's sthitadhi, that's sthira buddhi. He is brahmanistitaha, esha brahmi sthiti partha. So remember, all the second chapter is brought again. So a person who neither rejoices or exhilarated upon achieving something, or lamenting upon losing something, he, situated in Brahman, transcends and so happy. And they know the temporary aspect of the Indriya Sukhas. They know the limitations of the sense objects and the sensual pleasures. Yehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkhayonaya evate. They know the limitations, and they know that if you become a slave, then it is dukkha. You are imprisoned by those sensual pleasures. So that is dukkhayoni. So all these, they have their own limitations. So it is not that they do not enjoy. It is not that they don't eat. It's not that they don't cherish. So, but they know the limitations of them. So it is like Shankaracharya says in Bhajagovinda. Yogarato va bhogarato va sangarato va sangavihina. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam nandati nandati nandatyeva. The one who is enjoined with Brahman now doesn't matter. Sangarata, sangavihina. In company, no company. Nice 5-star hotel room one day, the other day kutiya, doesn't matter. Sumptuous food one day, just bread and butter the other day. And I have seen people like this. So they know they are adi antavantaha. So all these samsparshaja bhogas, indriya sukhas, and all the worldly pleasures, they have the beginning and they have an end. Adi antavantaha. Nateshu ramate buddhaha. Then, but ayuktaha, not yuktaha, ajnanis, ayukta kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. There, because of this selfish act, so they indulge, they achieve, they have temporary pleasure, but then they are the miserable sufferers afterwards. Then there is a warning given to us. And there is also this message given to us. O Arjuna, when to achieve this? Shaknoti haiva yasodham Aksharira vimokshanat kama krododbhavam vegam sayuktasya sukhi naraha. These vices are there. The vices are always there. Kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsara. That's why they're called Arishad Vargas. They're all our siblings, our cousins. They're cousins because they are born along with that. Because Swami Bodhananda says that some of this is needed for our survival and then struggle for existence and survival of the fittest. You should desire to be something. And you should be angry at yourself or angry at others for things not going well, for the welfare of everybody. So Ranganathananda also used to say that this krodha is needed a little bit for the society to prosper, because you don't want the corruption to go on. So you have to get angry at that. And then kama, we'll see in 7th chapter that dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. I am that desire which is not opposed to dharma. But now we are talking about the real Arishad Varga, the foes and the enemies and the vices in the form of the deep desire, the selfish desire, the lust and the anger, which is uncontrollable. When to control? Before giving up the present body, right here, right now, before giving up the body. If one is able to tolerate the urges and the flood and forces or the tsunami or the hurricane of material senses, which come like, the hurricane Ian, if you can check the force of this desire and anger, he is a yogi, he is happy. Shaknoti iha eva yaha sodhum, to obstruct, to stop. Praksharira, before vimokshanat, sharira vimokshanat, before giving up this body. So these people, when they do, they are at utmost bliss and happiness. Ya antasukha, antararamaha, tadha antarjyotihi evayaha. So saha antasukha atmanyeva atmana tushtaha. By the self, in the self, happy, and that self. So by the people, for the people, to the people. So it is by the soul, by our Atma, to our Atma, in our Atma, and then we are one with Atma. Antara Ramaha, not Indriya Ramaha, not Kama Ramaha, but Antara Ramaha, Antarjyoti. So that light within, it is ignited upon. So then they are Brahma Bhutaha, they're Brahma Nirvana Madhikachati. So Annamacharya again writes this great song, Kadaludipi Niradaga, Kadaleni Manasaku Kadama Yakkadidi. So you actually are at the beach and you want to take a bath. And you want the waves to stop. Do you think the waves will stop? And Mundare Rigina Venuka, Modalu Marachadanana, Mundare Meruguta, Modalela Marachu. If you want to see the what happens ahead, and then, okay, when I reach 70, I start reading Gita. What happens when you reach 70? So we may not even have a proper eyesight. If you wait for all tides and waves to stop to take a bath in the ocean's beach, my friend, the waves will never stop and you can never bathe, you only watch. If you think you will give up all your zest only after quenching all your thirst, my friend, you never get over the lust and you can never quench your thirst. If you think you will forget all the past after enjoying all that is ahead first, you will not leave the worldly pleasure, my friend, nor can you ever be at leisure. Duck under the big tides, jump over the small waves to enjoy the ocean bathing. Cut asunder deep desires and surrender to Supreme to enjoy the life and living. This is the only way indeed. Wake up, my friend, and make up your mind. Ihaiva, ihaiva. All this is the play of our mind. Only with the Lord's grace we will find. Right now, right here, not later, not hereafter. Must we strive every day? Wake up now and today. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. Uttisthata, jagrata, prapyavaran nibodhata. Shudram, hrudaya daurbalyam, tyaktva uttistha parantapa. Then Kata center. Yogam Atishta Uttishta Bharata. So that is how Krishna is teaching. It is the awakening mantra to inspire and propel all of us. If not now, when? If not here, where? It's now and right now. It's here and right here. Ihaiva, ihaiva. Shaknoti, haiva yasodham. Shaknoti, iha eva yaha sodham. This is a life we live. This is a world we see. The people, plants and animals embrace all and live with grace. Vidya, Vinaya, Sampanni. Desire, anger, and greed are the gateways to hell. Sharing, caring, and loving are the open doors to heaven. With equipoise and equanimity, with sincerity and solidarity, working with unity and diversity, showing humanity and divinity. Live, love, and laugh every day. Give, share, and care everywhere. See the beauty of the world here. See the mighty God in all now. This is a message of Gita, essence of Krishna's teachings, quintessence of all our scriptures, to destroy arrogance and our ignorance. So I am as sure as I live that nothing is so near to me as God. God is nearer to me than I am to myself. My existence depends on the nearness and the presence of God. So yukto manyeta tattvavitta. This is antararamaha, antasukhaha, antarjyotihi. So the light of lights, antarjyoti. With this we'll conclude. Ignite the light. Light the light. Not one light, but many a light. Spread the light and love, not the hatred. The light of lights shines forth in all our hearts. With Diwali coming, lower the light. It's the same light to reach any height in life, to pass through the life's darkest night. It is the inner light that gives us the sight. It is the same self, myself or yourself, the self of all, the light of all. It is one, not many. It is one as many. It is one in many. If one sees many, he does not know any. Ignite the light, my friend. Pass on the light and pass on the love from one life to another life. And lastly, the chapter leads into the 6th chapter. The way Krishna has this knack of teaching chapter after chapter. Either he leaves a doubt or a subtle comment which will inspire and ignite and stimulate Arjuna to ask a question, or it leads to something more which Krishna wants to teach. So, how dhyana is to be done, and that we will see in the 6th chapter. And who is a dhyaya? How? The meditation upon this, the meditated. So the meditator, for the sake of meditators. So meditator, meditated, and the process of meditation. So all this we will see in the next chapter. And this dhyaya, the one whom we are meditating upon, is Bhoktaram, Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam, Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, Suhrudam Sarvabhutanam, Yatva Mam Shanti Brachati. So he is Bhokta. He is the Sarvaloka Maheshwara, the Lord of all the worlds. And yet he is our great friend. He is our great friend. And friend indeed. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Sakha cheti rahasyam hetaduttamam. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti. So he is our friend. He treats us like a friend with all faith in you, with more respect for you, and always intimate with you, and ever emotional outlet for you, always natural in relation with you. A cloned divinity shared by you is a friend. A friend in need is a friend indeed. God could not be everywhere, hence he created the mother. Mother could not be everywhere, so he gave us a friend as a wonder. A true friend likes you for what you are. A true friend loves you no matter where you are. A true friend treats you like a child as if you were. A true friend leads you to the immortal land and far. So that's Suhrita. So let us salute Krishna Bhagavan, Krishna Paramatma, who is a friend and who is our Antarjyoti, who is within us, so close to us, closer, even closer than we think we are to ourselves. Sarvam Krishna Arpanamastu. Shubham Bhuyat.